he is the best in the LCK. He very well may be the best in the world at this pick right now. His form is incredible. And the Milio ban here is quite interesting. Execute hates that champion. He does not like to play it.
Is Carrier going to play Camille support?
It could happen.
It's kind of like the whispers I'm hearing nowadays. One of them from actually our co-commentator in Chronicler, who's playing it in solo queue, but also at the top of the ladder as well. Seems pretty strong. And Lucian's going to be banned, which leaves Senna, which is not allowed.
That's not the strategy that has been winning for the last 14 times she has appeared. We might see 15 as Senna's going to come out here, or rather Sejuani is going to come out here for Willer with the Azir pick. So no synergy built up on those two picks just yet, but we could see something like a Yone top, but I fear it.
You know, Faker is on a 9-0 streak with the Orianna in this season, I should say.
You know,
Tom
Kench here is the best option next to Nollis. I wonder if that was the strategy from T1 is to ban the Nollis. It's a good pick for Execute and just give FearX this false sense of hope that, okay, well, they banned Nollis, so they're not planning on playing this, right? And of course they are, because it's the best champion in the game right now. But the Tom Kench does come out here. That's a known quantity as well. Faker also on a huge winning streak on this pick, even larger than the Senna win streak that we have here in the LCK on the Corki. The numbers aren't lining up for FearX right now. They are really not lining up for FearX. So Varus is the answer to the Senna Kench. I've never seen this attempted before. Okay, this is a better option, I think. It's definitely going to be able to match the scaling a little bit better. Is the lock in the Rakan?
Yeah, Rakan currently seeing a lot of success in the LCK, even alone, regardless of the Xayah, which probably you don't want to see into Corki Senna, please. But, you know, we'll see what they decide to do. The Rakan itself, though, has been pretty good. You have some decent, reliable engage, some hard engage, and you have the Sejuani as well.
I wonder...
there's a Tom Kench on the other side, so...
I wonder if Henna would be interested in playing Jinx in this composition, because you have a lot of ways to blow up a single target, and the range that Jinx has can follow up pretty well. And before Senna starts to stack, you'll be able to kind of meet her in the middle there. The Varus is 100% going to be banned, right? We knew that from the outset. That was not going to come through when they decided to prioritize the Rakan. But maybe the Rakan plus Sejuani and the Azir ultimate gives you the opportunity to get Jinx excited and then carry the fight front to back that way. It's just a thought I have here, because clearly something unusual is going to come out. If it's the Xayah here, then we got to talk to Ryu after this. Because I don't think that is ever going to be the answer in this one. As Poppy taken away here. So Zeus' pool, you know, is quite large. He'll play anything, but they're taking away some of the best picks here into some of the remaining available ones, like the Cassante. Xayah is banned away, so they're not even allowed to play it. Surprised T1 decided to go that way. It's going to be Tristana bot.
Yeah. Pretty interesting. I thought, you know, maybe with the Poppy going away, we're thinking about some kind of aggressive pick in the bottom side. I wasn't expecting Tristana. And you ban away the Gnar and the Poppy and the Aatrox, and you don't take Cassante.
Yeah, I feel like
that doesn't seem right.
My most frustrating point of this is, yeah, you're going to get counterpicked for clear this way. Technically speaking, Twisted Fate. So we'll see how this one goes. But nobody would have expected you to pick Tristana. You didn't need to lock it away here. It wasn't going to be taken away from you. You could have gotten a prio pick instead, a safe one. And now let's see what the counter pick for the Twisted Fate is going to be. Viego ties this composition together so incredibly nicely. You have pick potential with the Twisted Fate. You have so much range with Senna. You have more, you know, damage output at range and also sustain with the Senna here. Very difficult to punish this composition. And you could save the Senna, you could save the Corki.
Smolder top.
This is...
Are we going to see it?
Smolder top sounds like a disaster in this composition. Thank God it's not going to happen. Yeah. I was about to lose my marbles. They're about to be all over the floor, bouncing down the Lowell Park stairs right behind Coma down right over there. You see them flying down. Somebody's going to trip over that. Would have been a hazard for all the staff here. Glad that didn't happen. He's going to play Jax, which is going to have a better time. Works well with the Sejuani. You got Permafrost synergy.
Yeah.
It's going to be hard for Viego
cards.
Yeah, and
right?
Exactly. It's going to be hard for Viego to win that 2v2 with the Sejuani up there. Definitely a strong pick here for Clear, and it's obviously one that he's fallen back on many times this season. Comfort pick for him, a pick that he's played so much last year when Jax was actually at the forefront of the meta. It was one of his better picks, so I do like this a lot more than Top Smolder, which might have actually just been a hover trick there, but good luck stacking that one up.
We have seen it in other regions, I believe, and in solo queue, but yeah, with what they already had, that seemed a bit strange, to say the least. I'm very surprised Cassante was just kind of ignored, right? They elected to go for the TF blind instead. Is that Junghyun?
Yeah.
It's Junghyun! Hey, what's up?
and
cheering for Fearex.
She's with another announcer as well. Worked with her on Cartwriter, so hanging out. All the announcers, they know each other, they're friends with each other. They're going to come watch League of Legends together. As this T1 comp, it does everything, and it is going to scale. It is going to have mid-game power. Fearex, let's see that Tristan execution. That's all I can say. It's going to need to start in the bottom lane.
Let's see it. Game number 1 starts now.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
Little side note here in the early game for you guys who don't know Junghyun, former announcer and host here at the LCK, also works now for Valorant and does a lot of the events there. I would assume the majority knows, but for you guys who don't know, we're like, hey, it's Junghyun. They're like, who's that? So clearing that up. But yeah, here we are in game number 1, T1 versus Fearex, and they have gone for some interesting picks. It's no crazy to carry for Keria, but he is a long-time fantastic Tahm Kench player.
Yes.
And they got Senna. And they're playing TF top.
And the Tahm Kench could save the Senna, save the Corki, even could save Owner if he's trying to go in there and get the, resets going in a skirmish. So I feel like the Tahm Kench is going to get insane value as, you might be thinking, well, if you save the Viego, but then the Senna's going to be in danger. I mean, I don't expect T1 to be on the back foot at any point in any skirmish in this game outside of the first few minutes, as Guma's just going to come over here and get that first Q off and do some additional damage. Hannah, I feel like this entire game revolves around, as the gold or red card slow is going to be huge.
Yeah, they're going for the Counter-Strike first, and you see that Zeus doesn't really care because Counter-Strike has a much longer cooldown than the pick a card. So at level 1, not really the play, I think, to get onto the Twisted Fate.
I like the call to go for red as well for some additional damage. Counter-Strike going to be used to dodge this gold, and then that's it. Now Zeus has control until your next Counter-Strike, and you're going to get frozen out of some of these minions here. Very frustrating. As your melee, he's ranged. There's a gold card. You don't have a Counter-Strike for that one.
Yeah, and Zeus is fantastic for his Gnar spacing. That was always the champ we were like, wow, he's really perfect at playing right on the line between getting too close and being too far away to not do enough damage. So I would expect this TF is going to be pretty insane in terms of the laning phase, and we're already seeing a bit of that extra harass in this game.
Okay, another one to connect here. Now he has level 3, so he's going to stack that passive as well on his autos. And, I mean, it's not a fun time, let's just say that, as should be able to get this cannon minion and the melee as well, but falling behind in CS, decides to Counter-Strike here just to get the cannon. Still takes damage here as Zeus, the spacing has been pretty legit, let's just say that, Valdez.
Yeah. I think the thing about it is that, in theory, the Counter-Strike is going to be very nice into the pick a card, but in the early stage of the lane, especially level 1, where he opted to go for a trade, the TF will always do a lot, especially if you're going AD, because then your autos just hurt, right? As Henna goes in, and gets hit by the root and is in a bit of trouble, will hop away.
So that's the end of Tristana's ability to do anything on this before this first back. Right there, off of an insta-root from Guma. Really well played. As Faker also, 20 win streak. So he's 6 ahead of the Senna.
Yeah.
And they will go, those streaks will continue together. His Closer may have to flash.
Oh, trying to predict it, and Closer just stares at him.
Good call from Closer.
And
didn't get the flash. Will force Closer to teleport, though, as the Gatling gun from Faker chunked him out. So Faker had already TP'd, so tried to use that for an additional advantage. And that's where we were.
So Closer trying to stop a back, and he will be successful. Does take a chunk of damage, though, which, you know, he just TP'd in, so that's not what you're looking for. Also misses the cannon, to the chagrin of Jonah Strong. I saw that tiny little zoom in. I know exactly what he means.
We all know what it means, and I think Closer going to be pretty unhappy with how this scenario went, as Faker once again has enough for Gatling gun, is going to push in, and Faker's planning on pushing this and backing. It's kind of awkward for him now, though, because he used the Gatling gun mostly for damage.
Yeah, he also TP'd earlier as well.
Yeah, exactly. So he doesn't have TP, so that may have backfired a little bit.
Nice ward placement there from Zeus just to spot him after landing the gold card. Seems like Clear is doing okay. Obviously, the first time we saw this lane earlier, it was not great. He was experiencing a lot of pressure, but also had to use his TP. So picked up a refillable, which is going to be immensely helpful into this lane with the amount of harass you are going to experience. Melee into TF as Counter-Strike is there, Clear. The nice trade this time around.
Yeah. Zeus goes down. Maybe he thought he could do something with that, and it was a red card used there from Zeus. That's how confident he is okay.
Yeah, Owner already using Smite, so Willard just gives him a thumbs up and hops out of there.
Teams have gotten so good at securing their one bub, and this is going to be no exception. They're just coming in there and making sure you do not lose that valuable experience. As so far, so good in terms of ping for the moment. Looking like we are in this one for the long haul. Fingers crossed. So happy to report the gameplay is still
going. I
going.
wish you didn't say that.
I don't believe in jinxes.
Yeah.
All right, fine, Valdez. I'm sorry. God, I just wanted to say something positive, okay? I felt really good about it. I really did. Nothing seemed weird. Everything seemed fine. I don't believe in curses. I don't believe in jinxes. I will step on a crack. I will walk under a ladder. Yeah. Big crowd applause. As Zeus will see this Sejuani, and they're going to make something of it.
Definitely not scared to walk straight at them. Now he's probably going to have to flash. He misses his flash. Flash in from Clear, and they have first blood onto Zeus in the top lane. As now Owner going to get frozen up here. And he will be in trouble as well. One flash, one auto will get it done. That's 2-0 for the Sejuani.
Gotta say, control wards are the enemy today, Valdez, as we mentioned this in the draft. You don't win the 2v2 Sejuani Jax versus Viego Twisted Fates. Very difficult to do. We'll be able to use his ultimate to get back to lane very quickly here and might even be able to eke an advantage out because of it. But still, staying for that control ward a little bit too long. Flash not going over the wall, and he is not going to be happy with the result. But he will be happy to continue his CS advantage, deny some farm from Clear, potentially grab another plate. Speaking of plate grabs, the Sejuani, or rather the Senna, Sejuani's not here, and so therefore the Senna is going to grab some plate gold herself. Not normal, not advised to allow, but it did happen as Guma is in a very nice spot in this game.
Feeling pretty good about that bottom lane. Execute going up to the top side to try to help out. And we'll see how this lane does continue. You can see that even with Execute here, can't really do much because at the end of the day, especially early on, like Tristana does not match the range of the Senna, and Tom Kent is quite strong at this point in the game. So unless you're going all in, you're just kind of sitting there eating harass. And so that's... They're under the turret. Now Execute is here. Also, Sejuani Willard did come down to the bottom side, made himself known.
Yeah, we'll watch this play one more time as Willard backs off. Owner isn't really in the vicinity, and Zeus still commits to grabbing this control ward. Then, unfortunately, unable to get over the fat part of this wall here, goes down.
It actually looks like he didn't even try.
Yeah.
I thought he failed, but actually just flashed towards Owner. And maybe if it were 2v2, they could have made something happen, but with Execute there, it's just a done deal.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if they could have been able to, but obviously it's a 0% chance with the Rakan there, as you say, and I would have advised going over the wall. He does not go over the wall, let's just say. Don't know if intentional or not, because the angle is a little bit ambiguous there. Might have just been he was going towards Owner, as you say. And, you know, still, obviously, with his ultimate, can get back up to top side, maintain that CS advantage, grabbed a plate. Let's see if he dies this time around to Willer, who does have his ult back up here. and is trying to make his presence unknown. So far successful, and look, Owner he's not aware of this, but Zea's playing respectfully, and nothing's going to come of it.
Yeah, Clear also standing on a ward. A little bit suspicious, but let's see if Zeus reads the situation. He is up against this right wall, and he does not. He is going to get knocked by the Sejuani. There is the Permafrost as well, and the Sejuani ultimate, and that is the second kill onto the TF top, which TF tops have been having a hard time of surviving today.
Well, people are super annoyed with how oppressive the pick can be, and you need jungle attention if you are going to have any chance of getting this Jax to be relevant. 20 CS down regardless here still. After the play, he's far from relevant, even with the assist he picked up earlier and an additional kill going over now. But it is at least going to keep Zeus down for the meantime, as it looked like Zeus really was aware. But I guess maybe we gave him a little bit too much credit there and wanted to come out and push an extra advantage. Permafrost there after the Counter-Strike, clean to stagger those CCs to make sure that he does go down the ultimate as well, kind of cherry on top for Willer at the end. So 2 kills for the Sejuani. Clear's picked up 1 himself. But it doesn't mean by default, it just means that Jax is now going to actually have a good time, but at least he's got some gold in his pocket. And maybe later on he can be a threat in this game. It's going to be tough. I mean, we talked about the draft a lot earlier, and it hasn't gotten much better since. The 3 kills to 0 may seem like a great start here, but remember this bottom lane is getting stronger by the moment.
Yeah, and the CS difference in the jungle as well as the top lane is still pretty prevalent, right? So T1 hanging in there in terms of gold and keeping it even. They also got the Infernal Drake. Fearx did get 4 buffs, but I don't know why I said it like that, but either way, they did get 4 of the Void Grubs.
Some boibs.
Some boibs. And now they're actually looking to get on top of Clear here, who is not going to have Counter-Strike and does not have his flash for about 5 seconds. Do they have the damage? Yes, they do. His owner will take him out with his nice ult, as that's going to give Zeus some breathing room.
Zeus also went for Cull, so he's going to have a big gold injection in just a moment. Faker is in control of this mid lane, is even able to steal some of those Raptors away. And Zeus just walks up to Clear, and Clear has had enough, wants a Counter-Strike, and wants to put the threat on, but he's met by an angry Viego. And now he's going to teleport back here. We'll miss the cannon, unfortunately. No! Oh, no! Okay. See, I can jinx anything, Valdez.
You are all powerful today, Wolf. Don't you dare mention what you mentioned before.
Nope, I will not.
Will not be mentioned.
In fact, I feel like it's just about time for a pause now.
What?
See? It didn't happen.
Wow. You are just...
I'm in control, actually. It's all about what I say, so...
I guess so.
Be nice to me. I will make you perish. It's only an 800 gold lead because of the deaths of Zeus in the lane. He's still 800 gold ahead. Twisted Fate passive, plate gold,
and the
30 CS.
CS, yeah. I mean, that's just the way of the TF. Like, this is part of the reason why after the buffs, people were like, well, this guy is just a really strong pick nowadays, and he's very flexible. They picked him in a spot where he couldn't be flexed, which was at the end of the draft alongside of the jungler, but still, just able to pick it blind as well. I mean, there were a lot of power picks that were taken away. I was surprised to not see Cassante try out at all, but after the TF came out, it seemed like Clear wanted to play with the Jax into it instead.
Let's see if he falls for it again here. Counter-Strike, kind of trying to bait him, it looks like. See if he falls for it. I don't... Fool me once, shame on me. Okay.
Here we go. That's the Rakan right under the turret. Doesn't care. Very nicely set up here by Execute. Quick and fast gets the job done.
Zeus had Flash and Ghost and just simply did not react quickly there. Might have died either way because of the Rakan ultimate. You know, you flash it, still get charmed by it, still get caught and taken out, but yeah, didn't overextend his. Meanwhile,
who wins this trade? I think it's the Tom Kench, and he's going to have some help from Kuma as Flash comes in and one lick would get the job done, and he hits it. Keria just going to solo Henna. Oh, man.
I mean, to be fair, he had a Guma ult. It's not 100% solo. he had
Guma
Guma's
wasn't
ult.
there.
He wasn't there, but his ult was.
True.
I don't know if it really was the difference maker, though, to be honest with you, Valdez. As some fancy footwork from Henna to try to avoid that stun and the final lick as Owner is alone.
Yeah, Ult's going to come out here. He's got Rakan nearby as well, but they have taken quite a while to get in onto Owner, and they don't necessarily want to enter the jungle. Although now with 4 people, they got a Jax over the wall. That's Guma in a lot of trouble. He will flash himself to get out with just a tiny bit of health, as now Owner might pay the price for it, but don't execute. Nearly going to go down. Owner looking for the kill, as maybe they did go a bit too far, as the rest of T1 is coming in. So many low health bars here on the side of FearX. And the last person to join up, as Guma's looking for it. He will pick it up, as Execute now doesn't have the damage to take out the Senna, and T1 eventually will win the fight.
That's just T1 things. It seems winnable. It seems like they've overextended. It looks like the gaming is a little too happy. And then you feel like, okay, well, I got this as Keria. He's having a great time. We're not even going to watch that.
He's having fun.
We'll watch the other one instead. As, yeah, it's just... Tristana thinks that she can win this fight and actually gets devoured here after the ultimate, so actually makes her further away from her turret.
I think he called for the ult too. Not 100% sure on that.
Well, doesn't miss the Q, and that's that. Over here, this is trademark T1. One person against the world. It's usually Faker. In this case, it's Owner. And then the rest of the team is super split on what the call is. They're waiting for Clear. They want him to make this engage over the wall. He's got Flash. But then Guma flashes the wall before that last auto goes off here. And at this moment, you have to continue the play because there's no way out, right? But there's a turret here. They don't have enough range to actually follow up on this. The Tristana, if she's here, she has a field day, but she's not. So T1 just clean it up. And it's a massive advantage for them now after what looked like maybe Owner getting caught. He just bought so much time. Flash and ult available. And then the gold card here to save Guma. I mean, you get nothing. You lose, good day, sir. You know, it's a Willy Wonka moment.
Yeah. Pretty rough stuff for FearX. Looked good at first, but not meant to be, I suppose. Nice little jump in the graph for T1. As some low turrets that maybe they're able to get. A nice ult goes in on Zeus as they're really trying to bully the TF. And they will be successful in doing that at least.
2 kills for This Is Ear. Starting to get online. Sitting on the Gnasher's Tooth in the Amp Tome right now, but we'll be able to grab a turret for his trouble as well after the play. So very successful knockout of Zeus this game. 4 deaths. Like Keen before him, ended up still winning that one, despite having all of the attention onto him. And when you lopsidedly put all the attention on a TF, it means that Guma can't continue to farm and be a menace. Keria is up 10 CS when he's been in that isolated matchup, and Guma is just getting stacks on stacks and growing at a pretty quick rate. So, I mean, despite all of the efforts to make this Twisted Fate fall down and be useless, he's still going to be a guaranteed way to get vision. He's still going to be an additional piece of CC. And, I mean, this is a successful gameplay, and you've got to look for something, right? You have to try to make your solo laners relevant. Last time, obviously, the focus was for the Jax. Now it's for Closer. He needs items to actually be able to stand up to T1's composition. So it's not all for nothing. But don't count Zeus out of this game just yet is really what I'm getting at. As we saw, like I said in the previous game.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you're a gold card. There's not a huge amount of CC in this comp compared to what we saw the last time around, as unfortunately, guys, we do have another pause. We were going well there doing pretty well for ourselves. Had about, 5-6 minutes of gameplay, it felt like. But,
all right, so this is not an official statement from the LCK. Bright spots, as well as a couple Closer. Yeah, Closer did get that play bottom side, grabbed a turret, and picked up a needlessly large rod. So there are some bright spots here for sure for FearX. The goal deficit, definitely, you could feel it. The win conditions of the late game Corki, the late game Senna, that's the biggest issue they're facing right now.
Yeah. T1 coming in here, taking the blue buff away. Nicely done on that. We don't have another dragon here. It is Mountain Soul. For about 2.5 minutes, so just trying to take away some of the jungle as they can. Zeus off in the side lane ready with his ults if any action does break out. You see he was moving over. They thought maybe something was going to happen. But yeah, as long as he's farming in a side lane, will be very annoying as this game comes along.
Clear does have teleport. That turret is down bottom side. Not much for him to do. Now, at this point in the map, because both of the outers, top and bottom, are down. So, to wait for a bigger objective as Owner should be fine.
He's going in. He's like, no, we win these. And he is going to, you know, essentially swat them away, not taking too much damage either way.
Owner's roots have been, or rather, Aguma's roots have been very accurate this game on the Sejuani. Saved him against that all-in.
Sejuani.
Sorry, I keep saying Sejuani instead of Senna. It's because there's a Sedge in the game. And
you know, in Challengers, we did have Sejuani, Senna, Seraphine.
yeah. Not in this this one, though. As I think that's like the 5th time I've called her Sejuani instead of Senna. But yes, Guma's roots on the Senna have been very good.
Seraphine?
No, just Senna.
Oh, okay.
It's not Kwangdong playing. They're the ones that play the Senna. Sometimes with Sedge, sometimes with not Sedge. But anyway, when we digress, the Jax on the side can be an issue later on if given enough space when, for example, a Baron is being postured for. Right now is just going to be left alone. We see a back from Zeus here. Dragon up in 45, so need to prep for that. He has the Destiny online, but obviously it's not completely global range, so probably going to catch this wave topside here to time it.
Right after you were talking about how good his roots were, he just missed one. You got something to say about that?
Look, I didn't ask for these powers, but notice the break wasn't that long, I'm just saying.
Notice how you have a big responsibility with these powers, Wolf, so be careful.
Yeah.
Hey, hit that one.
Maybe you also have, maybe you have it.
I don't think so, not compared to you. Not based on what we've seen. Willer and Closer kind of hanging out in the enemy jungle, and they're being closed upon pretty quickly. Maybe trying to get something done to the TF, and now you see that Zeus just joins the team. And now Closer and Willer are just running. Here is a TP, but there's a Viego and a pause.
No way, you can't pause in that moment. Oh boy. Well, trying to stop the TP from going down is Owner.
They did.
And
they stopped it with the pause.
Also a...
Yeah. It did. Yeah, it did. The Senna route was not on time. And Willer's on the run. And Clear, meanwhile, is pushing the bottom lane. So all of this pretty much just a distraction attempt from the side of FearX, as here's Execute just to help Willer get out, and that he will. Meanwhile, the bottom inner turret did go down.
All right, golf claps for this team that paused for 20 minutes. Still got the teleport out. Rakan ult to protect Willer, get him out of there. Closer gets out, and they get the inner. After all that, gotta say, mad props. Still, T1 will, of course, charge this Herald into mid. They'll be able to pick up a turret themselves. So a turret in trade for a turret. Inner arguably more valuable as this Jax is well and truly online now. Trinity Force is complete. And let's see what you cooking.
Did that do damage? I don't think it does.
No, I don't think it
yeah.
does. But you might be able to get a charge on that bottom inner turret.
Probably can. I mean, nobody's there.
No one's there, so I guess they just will.
Maybe Clear gets there on time. Oh no, it's just not gonna charge. Okay. So there you go. The Rift Herald is done. Mid turret went down, and you know the game definitely T1 favored right now, especially with the Dragons, but still feels like this could be winnable by the side of FearX. I mean, they're only about 2,500 gold behind. They do have Azir and Tristana and Jax, so it's a triple threat. You got 3 potential threats as the game does come along. I know we did talk about the draft a very long time ago at this point, but you know, we'll see how they do play this one out.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Of course, the Corki for that next Dragon fight is, you know, still going to be sitting on 2 items, and you know, the package will make a large impact there. I believe he's only really used 1 package this game, and it wasn't in a team fight. And if I remember correctly, because it's been a while since this game has started off. But either way, we'll see if they can get that Mountain Soul. It's going to be massive. Zeus does not have vision, but he's reading this well. Let's see.
Yeah, Clear is getting in there, and there is a pause. Again, unfortunate timing, but oof, not much we can do about that as Execute is about to jump in.
Yeah.
Again,
small amount of running I did, like about an 80-meter dash to get up here. Okay, we're all right. Whew, that was very
We
scary.
also had to climb some stairs.
Yeah, I thought I was about to be fired, but I made it.
We could always do the Valdez solo cast.
And
Or the Wolf one if I...
and Ji-sun got my back. She waited for me for the unpause. Unfortunately, that'll be the 5th death for Zeus. And to bring it back to the game state for just a minute. Okay, Owner, going in.
Yeah, bit of damage on Execute, gonna force the hop out of Henna. And you see that Closer was watching the last game, although he did go for Shadow Flame, which is pretty interesting. Generally, you'll see the Leandries come out and then the Zhonya's, but instead it's Shadow Flame and then Zhonya's.
Oh, man.
And I guess it's just that a lot of players aren't going to be building too much health, although there is, of course, Viego and Tom Kanch.
But he did get the arm guard in the end. And
Yes.
he's going to have that extra survivability. Killing either the Corki or the Senna instantly in this in a team fight almost guarantees you the win as Spherex. Now, doing that is much more difficult than it is to say it, because Corki's got Valkyrie, he's going to have package in these big team fights in 2 minutes. The dragon will spawn. So you've got to try to find an angle. If you can kill Faker or you can kill Guma, the Twisted Fate's damage output, even with AD, is just not going to stack up to Tristana Azir damage with the Jax flying around the team fight as well. So layering CC, those types of engages are what Fearex are looking for. And the Tristana, I mean, she's scaling on her own and can, once the range gets higher, you know, end up being that extra damage. She can follow up pretty well with her jump. So it's not over till it's over. And let's see how this next fight breaks out here. In 75 seconds that Drake is spawning, Fearex cannot give the Mountain Soul to T1, so they're not going to be able to avoid that one. Jax has teleport, so keep that in mind too. Maybe he can put some pressure on the top side if he backs now, maybe be on the opposite side and then TP into the fight, something they could look to do.
It's kind of interesting that amongst all the issues is like both of these teams, they just want to sit back and scale. Neither team is like, okay, we got to end this game. It's like both teams are kind of just sitting back, scaling either their Corki, Senna, TF, or their Azir, Trist, Jax. And so we might be in for a bit of a longer game. And hopefully things remain stable. But yeah, gearing up for this next Drake. It does look like Fearex does not want to give this one up. They are going to make a stand here and try to deny the Mountain Soul away from T1.
And T1, you know, they could try to trade this for Baron. This is what the 3 Drake advantage they have really leads to, is close call there on getting caught by Guma. There's the package take here from Faker. He's got TP as well. They absolutely are just going to contest this directly.
Yeah, interesting TP. I guess he really wanted to be there right on time. He has 3.5 items already with the Eclipse and the Malignance done.
He doesn't want to give Clear time on the side. Clear is going to wrap around now. He's on the flank, but it's a long flank, so there's a big window here for T1.
Yeah, the package, I think, is going to be pretty critical. Clear is on the flank, but they have pinged this out. They do spot him with the Senna. His damage already getting in on this one. We do see the TF ult utilized as he is going to get in onto Execute, who has a Mikhail's very nicely timed as the package comes in. And T1, they are isolated as Zeus is very far behind this fight. But Execute is getting pretty low, and now Clear is getting slowed up as Keria is just in the back line. The assassin, Tom Kent, gets the job done and will take out a couple of members eventually with the help of his team.
That should be the Soul going over to T1. A fairly drawn-out fight, all things considered, but so many resources spent to kill Zeus. The tanky Tom Kench is actually more deadly than you'd expect, even with the build he's chosen. Does a decent amount of damage there. He's so difficult to lock down and kill. And the flanking Jax just does not work out. He gets rooted, which is somewhat on him. Kind of just doesn't avoid that one, and then he's out of this fight. So imagine if you could pile onto Zeus here with Clear during all of this. Keep watching Clear, because he's not able to do anything in this fight as the collapse comes through. And then, yeah, you eventually get the Twisted Fate, but Keria comes in, the Rakan is down. This fight is so split up. There's no damage here anymore. As so much is spent on that Twisted Fate, the Tristana goes down, and you're sitting ducks as Fearex. 3,000 gold now behind and up against a Mountain Soul.
Yeah, it's a bit of an issue. I mean, Keria might just be unkillable at this point, especially once he gets into the fights. He's got great health. He's got Jack shows. He has 3 items. Fearex, though, they're going for a Baron. They're looking for the flip. Owner tries to get in. He ults, and he will take it away with the smite. This looks like Willer also uses. Keria gets hit with the Devour as well, keeps him alive. T1 are in an excellent spot now, as Zeus, meanwhile, just bullying the enemy support, and Clear won't be able to get it done by himself. He does live for quite a long period of time, but not going to be enough. As the root comes in onto the Tristana, and T1 finally triple kill here on Zeus, and it looks like they know where Willer is as well.
I mean, this should be the game-ending fight for T1. I mean, they've got Soul, they've got Baron, Willer goes down, it's the ace, and they can push to end.
It's looking pretty likely. I mean, with the Baron, let's see. I mean, we got 7 seconds on execute. He'll have to try to delay this. We have
No way,
15
right?
on closer.
I just don't see them being able to defend this.
I think they're going to try to go for it. I don't blame them at all. And I think it makes sense at this point, as T1, a couple of team fights later, and a Mountain Soul, they will be able to take game number 1 in about 30 minutes, plus a bit of extra. As game number 1 does finish, T1 will be happy with that victory.
Yeah, all things considered, as happy as they can be, but a wild, wild game. Ultimately decided there in that final fight by a great steal from Owner, and